All right, guys. We are going to jump into solving by factoring. If you guys remember the last unit that we just did, we did the remember the X method with the boxes and stuff like that. You guys remember that? We are still doing that. Okay, so it's not like it's something that we can just like, okay, we're done with that. We're just going to move on to something else. Okay, this is completely different. Well, I say completely. It's pretty much the same thing, but now what we're going to do is we're going to solve the factoring. Okay. Now, instead of just stopping with the factoring and saying parentheses, parentheses, I'm going to explain to you what we're doing, okay? And I will tell you what it means here in just a minute, what the actual solve, like what the heck are we solving? Of course, I'm going to show it to you, okay? I'm going to show it to you 100%. Everybody with me so far? Okay? All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to solve by factoring. We're going to set up the quadratic equation to 0, okay? Put a star next to this on your notes. On this, we are going to set up, it has to be equal to 0. If you have something on both sides of the equation, which you will see later, if you want to flip over your notes and look, at the bottom of your notes, there are some questions that have some stuff that are not equal to 0. I will show you how to do that. We just, basically everything needs to be on the same side of the equal sign, okay? Let me back up a little bit. Let me read this to you. In many cases, we can find the solutions, which the roots or the zeros or whatever, by factoring. So what we are trying to find is basically, remember, a quadratic is a parabola. You guys remember that? Like we graphed them a lot. We did that. And the roots are where they cross the what axis? Yes. Yeah, where they cross the x-axis. Those are your roots or your zeros or your solutions or whatever. Remember I told you that one of the names was a solution? You guys remember that? Okay. So today I'm going to show you how to find those solutions. Okay. I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. And it has to do with the factoring that we've already done. Okay. So we are going to factor. I say factor the left side. I'm not a fan of saying I'm going to factor. I'm just going to factor the quadratic. Okay. Set each factor equal to 0. We're going to solve for x. And then we're going to write our answer using curly braces. Okay. I really don't care about curly braces. Okay. I want to find the solution. Okay. X equals. All right. So it looks like this. Given this, x equals, do you guys remember this? So we're going to factor. Negative 10 goes on top. Give me the factors of negative 10. 10 and 1, 5 and 2. Now this tells me they have to be different. For those of you that still need to take the test, don't blow that off. You still need to remember how to factor, okay? Positive 3, what does that tell me at the bottom? Larger number on the positives, and this means they're going to be different, so this side's going to be negative. So which combination adds up to be positive 3, guys? So we got x plus 5, x minus 2. Okay, is everybody good so far? Now, here's where it's a little bit different. Let me find a different marker, by the way. This marker is not great. Hopefully this one's better. All right. Now, step number 3. Somebody tell me what that says. Set each what? Factor equal to 0. Now, here's why. I want you to understand the why behind this. Like, why do we use 0? Why can you just magically turn it into 0? Because think of it this way. If I have a quadratic and it crosses here and here, you guys with me? This is like negative 1, 2. That would be negative 3 what? 0. What letter is 0? There's x. What is that? What does that say? So I set it equal to 0. Okay, so y, I'm looking for my y to be 0. So I'm looking for the point where y is 0. Same thing over here. If this is like positive 3, it'd be 3 what? 0. So my y is 0. Because all of these equations, don't they start as y equals? So we're looking for the point where it's 0 equals whatever. Okay, and we're going to have two different options because it crosses how many times? Twice usually. Twice usually. All right, here we go. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to split it, and I'm going to set them both equal to 0. X plus 5 equals 0. X minus 2 equals 0. They're just simple little one-step equations. Simple little one-step equations. That's all this is, guys. So what do you got? How do you get rid of positive 5? You subtract 5 from both sides. What's 0 minus 5? X equals what? Negative 5. Perfect. There's one of them. And then we do the other one. Positive 2, so we're going to add 2 to both sides. What's 0 plus 2? X equals 2. Okay, so here's your little magical braces, by the way. If they want you to write it out, here's what it looks like. X equals negative 5, 2. I can't write it as a parentheses because if it's parentheses, what is that? What is that if I put it in parentheses? If I write it like this, what is it? What is that? It's a coordinate. It's an ordered pair. So that would be like left 5 down 2. That's 1 point. Does that make sense? But if you write it like this, that means my two solutions are, okay, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm really not. You just need to understand that it had two solutions. One's -5, the other one's +2. You guys, does that make sense? I'm not going to lose sleep over how you write it. If you get the answer right, you're going to get credit. If you told me x equals -5 and x equals 2, I'm probably going to count it right. Fair? That's what I'm going to do. Everybody sort of understand what we're doing on this. Now, here's why, just so I can explain it to you. If I plug in, just pick one of those numbers. Do you want to plug in 2 or do you want to plug in -5? Okay, watch what happens. If I go back to the original equation, or to this one. Actually, let's go back to the other one. X squared plus 3x. Let's do the 2 just because it's positive. Does that make sense? Let's do the 2. According to what I told you, if I plug in the number, what should my answer be? What are we looking for? Are what? Zeros. So either one of those, if I plug them in, the answer should be 0. According to what I've told you. Yes? So let's see if I'm right. One of the options I gave you was a 2, and I'm going to use the 2 because it's positive. So I just want to, I'm trying to show you what it means, okay? So here we go. 2 squared. What is 2 squared? 4. Plus, what's 3 times 2? 6. Minus 10. What's 4 plus 6? 10. What's 10 minus 10? 0. My answer is good. Feeling pretty good. So it came out to be that was one of the words we were looking for, was my zeros. Okay, so the numbers actually work, so I know that I'm okay. That's why it crosses at a certain point. It all kind of works together. That's what it means, okay? That's why they're called zeros. All right, I am not going to spend all that time talking about all of this, okay? I want you, does everybody sort of understand what I'm talking about? Where it crosses, the y's are 0, and when I plug in my numbers, when I plug it back into the equation, it's always going to come out to be 0 if I got it correct. If that's how you check your work if you want to see you're right when you take your exam. Okay? Plug it back in. It should be what? 0. All right, here we go. Let's go to these. Do me a favor, with your partner or with somebody around you, factor the first one. This one's pretty easy. What's my only factor of 3? 1 and 3. So we're not going to do the x thing here. We're just going to do this. Everybody with me? X plus 3, x plus 1. It doesn't matter which order you do it, by the way. We factored, yes. This one, for those of you that are watching at home, okay, I'm sure you guys are sitting around. The only people I know that would probably sit at home and watch this are my mom and stepdad, by the way. What's up, Ron? Okay. It's funny. The other night he was watching like midnight. It was weird. Okay. All right. So here we go. What do I do? Yeah. So I split it and set them equal to what? X plus 3 equals 0 and x plus 1 equals 0. Okay? Do me a favor, open up Desmos graphing while you're doing this. Okay, I want to show you something. Just Desmos graphing. And we're back. Okay, when you guys are taking your STAR test, you can actually go into Desmos graphing, or you can use your Desmos calculator and type in the equation, and it'll give you a parabola, didn't it? Everybody on the parabola? No? You okay? Yeah. You got it? Everybody look at your zeros. Where does it cross the y-axis, or the x-axis? Give me the two numbers. -3 and what? -1. So if I do that correct, this should match. What's +3? When I move it, becomes a what? -3. X equals -3. Isn't that one of my spots? Perfect. Okay. Let's do the other one. +1 becomes a what? -1. Perfect. We're done. So if I were to write the answer, it'd look like this. That's the ugliest squiggly I've ever drawn. Okay. Ooh, that one's good. Okay. -3, -1. X equals. Everybody with me? I could see where the issue would be, like if you looked at something like this, like look at my two signs. What are they? Both what? Positive, but look at my both signs. What are these both? Negative. Remember what happens when I take it out of the parentheses? What happens? Parentheses is backwards. Remember that? I've told you guys that several times. All right, let's do the second one. I'm not going to do all of these, okay? I just have multiple options just to show it to you, okay? Let's do number 2. Let's see if we can factor it, check your work. No, don't just trust Desmos, okay? Trust the y. I want you to understand the why behind it. Oh, by the way, those of you that are watching, happy opening day. First day of Major League Baseball. Okay, go Braves. I was back and forth between the Braves and Rangers. I might wear a Rangers jersey tomorrow. I don't know. But Braves, World Series champs, 2021. I don't want to say I had anything to do with it, but they were having an awful season until I actually went to the game. And as soon as I went to the game, their season flipped. So I'm just saying. Just saying. Once I got to a game, they ran the tables and won the World Series. So luck of the Irish, maybe. I don't know. All right, what do we get? What are my factors of 24 that add up to 11? For those of you that don't know what we're doing, 24. So 24 and 1, 12 and 2, 8 and 3, 6 and 4, yes? And they have to add up to be 11. So my combination is 8 and 3. Correct? X plus 8, X plus 3. We're going to set them both equal to 0. So what's this first one going to be? Negative 8. X equals negative 3. So my two answers are negative 8, negative 3. Are you like, okay, I could do this. It's nothing real hard, is it? Okay, you guys feeling okay? Feeling okay with this? 1 to 5. And be honest with me, do I need to do another one? 4s? 5s, 4s, 3s. Okay. Are we okay? Do you understand? Now, I'm not asking about the factoring part because the factoring part is what? You have a question? Which question?
If it's 0 in the end, it just flip the signs.
Yeah, that's because basically what happened was positive 8 when I moved it became what? 0 minus 8. It's just a one-step equation. Okay. Remember the one-step equations we learned back in August, and now we're doing these? And think of how far we've come in a year. You don't think you're getting smarter, but we started with that. Okay. And then positive 3 becomes a negative 3 when I move it. 0 minus 3. It's always going to be backwards. All right. Do I need to do any more of these? Okay. I mean, the signs are different. We could still do the same work. Let's go to another page. Let's go to... you got 5, 6, 7, and 8. Somebody just randomly toss one out. Go. Give me a number. 5, 6, 7, or 8. 6. Let's do 6. All right, here we go. Negative 20. Again, you can use Desmos, okay? But trust the work. Trust the process of graphing it, okay? Hey, try to factor it and use Desmos as a check in your work. Does that make sense? See if we can do it correctly. I mean, I could teach a first grader how to type it into Desmos. That doesn't mean they know how to do it. Understand the math behind it. Negative 20. That means they're going to be different. Yes? Negative 1. Okay, so I've got 20 and 1, 10 and 2, 5 and 4. I believe that's it. Negative, which means my larger numbers are going to be negative. They need to be different, so this side's going to be positive, positive, positive. Correct? All right, which combination adds up to be negative 1? Negative 5, positive 4. So here we go. X minus 5, X plus 4 equals 0, right? So here we go. Split them, set them both equal to what, guys?
0.
X minus 5 equals 0. X plus 4 equals 0. Negative 5 becomes a what? Positive. X equals 5. Yes, we're good. Pretty easy. And then negative 4 becomes a positive 4. X equals positive 4. Thank you. You caught my mistake. That was actually not intentional. You found my mistake. Thank you. All right, it happens. Okay, I'm trying to go too fast. All right, now, because what I was thinking about is I'm going to plug it into this part of the equation. Everybody with me? Pick one of them, 5 or 4. 4. Okay, 4. What is negative 4 plus 4? What is that?
0.
What is 0 times anything?
0.
Still 0. So as long as one of the parentheses comes out to be 0, it's still going to be 0. Okay, so that's why it works. Okay, it would work in this one, and if we plug 5 in, this one becomes 0. This one becomes 9. What's 0 plus 9 or times 9? 0. So it works either one you plug it in. Okay, it still works. Everybody good? Does that make sense? It still works. Everybody good on this? Did you guys check it and that's what you got on your graph? Okay. It doesn't flip on your graph. Once you graph it, point, those are your answers. Those don't flip. It only flips with the parentheses. Everybody with me? It only flips with the parentheses. All right, let's go to 9, 10, 11, or 12. Somebody pick one. Pick one.
12.
Let's do 12. Let's do 12. What do you always check for first when you're doing your factoring? This one you can't do necessarily in Desmos very easily. Okay. Actually, you might be able to. Greatest common factor. Okay. Greatest common factor. Actually, try to type that in Desmos. It might actually work. All right, here we go. So greatest common factor. What number goes into 8 and 6? 2. So I'm going to bring a 2 out. Yes? Pay attention to me. Okay, watch this. So what is 8 divided by 2? 4. What is 6 divided by 2? 3. Yes? Okay. What? Stay with me. Stay with me. Is everybody good so far? So now let's talk about so the numbers are taken care of. What about the x's? I have an x1 and an x2. Do they have something in common? What do they have in common? Pull 1 out. I had 2. I brought 1 out. How many are left? 1. I had 1. I brought 1. There's nothing left. Yes? So watch this, please. Everybody good? Is everybody focused?
Mm-hmm.
Here's how this works. So now I have this set up. Please don't overthink this. Please do not overthink this. This would be the same as doing this. Some of you guys did that on the test, and I gave you credit because you put it in parentheses, which was not wrong. Remember you had 1 on the test that looked like that, and you had to factor? Some of you guys put it in parentheses and counted you wrong. I gave you credit. It was right. Okay, 100% right. So I'm going to set both of them equal to what? Say it. 0. I'm setting them both equal to 0. 4x minus 3 equals 0. Now that one's a 2-step equation. This one's a 1-step. This one's a 2-step. Just solve the equation. Yes? How do I solve this first one? How do you divide by what? Divide by 2. So I'm going to divide this by, what's 0 divided by 2? 0. That one's 0. Did you guys graph that? Was one of them 0? I see some nodding. Is it 0? Let's check the other one. What was the other one? What's the next one? What is it? I saw you were typing it in. Did you get off of Desmos and go to 0.75? Which is what as a fraction? What is 75 cents? 3/4. 3 out of 4 quarters. Okay. So here we go. Let's see if we get 3/4. Negative 3 becomes a what? Positive 3. So now I'm left with 4x equals 3. And then I divide by 4. 3/4 or 0.75. It works. 100% works. I see like, the math is mathing. Are we good? Everybody understand that one? You notice I'm not doing all of them on your worksheet, right? We're just kind of working through some of these. Do you want to do another one of those or no? Okay. Now, when you guys do this in Desmos, please understand this. Desmos is going to make it, what did it tell you? A what? A decimal. It's going to make it a decimal. It didn't make it wrong. 3/4 is 0.75. I understand that, okay? But if you see an option that is 3/4 and you see 0.75, you need to know that 3/4 is 0.7. You might actually have to make it a fraction, okay? So you need to understand how to do that. All right, let's move on to when they're not equal to 0. Here we go. If they're not equal to 0, this is an important one. You will see this on your test, okay? You will see this. So let's lock back in if you're kind of all over the place. Let's do, I want to do this one just because it's over there. All right, now let's do this one. Let's start with that one. Is it equal to 0? What do I need to move to make it equal to 0? To put everything on one side of the equation, what do I need to move? What is it? Okay, so if I move a positive, how do I move a positive 21 over here? What's it become? Negative 21. So what I want to do is ultimately move this over here and it becomes a negative 21, right? So this becomes x squared plus 4x, minus 21. Now it is equal to 0 because there's nothing else over there. We just did 21 minus 21 ultimately, didn't we? Now is it equal to 0? Factor, go. By the way, you can't type this into Desmos. It has to be like this. If you try to type that in, you will not get an answer. Okay? Now factor it. Trust the factoring, please. By the way, when you're factoring normally, you can use the roots to get the parentheses. It just has to be opposite signs. What are the factors of 21? Negative 21. 7 and 3. And what else? 21 and 1. All right. So we need positive 4, which means the positive is going to be the bigger number. They're going to be different, which means this side is going to be negative. Yes? Is that correct? Which combination adds up to be 4? 7 and 3. Good. So I've got x plus 7, x minus 3 equals 0. I'm just going to do this a shortcut way once you get the hang of it. What's the opposite of positive 7? Negative 7 and positive 3. So those are my two x's. Is that what you got on your Desmos? Okay. See how that works? Let's do this one. I'm not going to walk through all of them. I'm not going to solve all these problems. Yes? I'm not going to solve all of them. This one, move the 4x over, becomes a what? I'm not going to solve it. I'm just going to help you out. So this becomes x squared minus 4x minus 45. My b is now negative 4. Because it has an x, I'm going to squeeze it right here. Now you can put it on the end, but I don't want to confuse you. It still goes on the bottom. Here's what some people are going to do. X squared minus 45 minus 4x, which is technically right, but here's what you're going to do. Negative 4 and positive, or negative 45, and people are going to be like, what? You got them backwards, okay? Remember, the one with the x always goes on, the one with the x goes on the bottom. The one with the x goes on bottom. The c value, that's just the number, goes on top. Okay, everybody good with that? Like, look, 21 went on top. It was just the c value, just the number. The one with the x goes on bottom. Okay. I'm not gonna solve that one out. Okay. What about number? Well, whatever the bottom right hand corner is. Number 20. How do I make this equal to 0? Move the 4x and the what? The 1. Okay. So I'm gonna move the positive 4x, make it a what? Oh, look. What are these? What are those? Combined like terms. That's exactly right. Okay, perfect. And then positive 1 becomes a what, guys? Negative 1. So I'm just going to do the math. So now I've got x squared minus 14x plus 48, and you would just do the math from there. I see a lot of nodding. Everybody with me? And you would just do the math from there. Any questions so far? Okay. You might have to do some slide and divide on this, by the way. Okay, I'm just telling you. All right, let's go to this is the last slide. So Mia, why don't you pick one of them? 19, 20, 21, or 22? Actually, don't pick 19 or 20. 21, there you go. Let's go to 21. Nope, 21 or 22. 21 or 22. You want to do 22? Yeah. All right, let's do 22. Go. Can you do it? Set it equal to what, guys?
0.
Set it equal to 0. Oh, by the way, they're both perfect squares. Remember the difference of square lesson that we did? How do you get 16? How do you get x squared? How do you get a negative? And how do you get 9? We did this. This goes back to our difference of squares lesson that we had. This one would be slide and divide. Well, no, it wouldn't. It might be. I need to look at it. I'll solve it in a minute. We're doing 22. How do you get 16 when you're talking about a perfect square? What is 16? 4 into what? 4. Yes? Okay, that one's done. Let me take off the radical because I think that confused people when I did that because we didn't really do that a whole lot in our notes. Okay, so we took care of the 16, right? How do we get x squared? X and x, correct? Cool. How did we get a negative? Positive and a negative. You guys like, okay, I remember this now. Yes? How did I get 9? What's the square root of 9? 3 and 3. It only works when everything is a perfect square. That's when everything is a perfect square. That's the only time it works. It has to be perfect square, and it has to have what in the middle? What sign does it have to be? It has to be the negative. Remember we did the one that was like x squared minus 25? That's actually what it was on the test. Those of you who haven't taken the test, you're welcome, okay? But if you do the x squared minus 25, it's positive 5, negative 5, because the middle cancels out. You guys remember that? Okay? And now I just do the math. I'm going to put it up here just because, well, I don't feel like bending over. 4x plus 3 equals 0. 4x minus 3 equals 0. Yes? Solve both of them. Positive 3 becomes a what? So I got 4x equals negative 3. Divide by 4. Divide by 4. X equals negative 3/4. And if you graphed it, it probably said negative 0.75. Is that what it did? Perfect. Now let's do the other one. The other one's probably positive 0.75. Is that correct? Let's check it. Negative 3 becomes a what? So I've got 4x equals, we're going to move this over, it becomes positive 3. Good. Divide by 4. Divide by 4. X equals 3/4. 0.75, negative 0.75. Those of you that use Desmos. Good? This one, just for the heck of it, I'm going to do this one kind of quick. I'm going to talk through this. I want to make this equal to 0, but I want to leave everything positive. You guys with me? I could take the 11 over there, but then I make it a negative, and that's just annoying. I don't want to do that, okay? So negative, I'm going to make that negative x squared. That is now 10x squared, yes? Correct? Oh, no, not equals. Because I also need to move the 8x. 8x becomes a what? Negative 8x equals 0. Is there a greatest common factor between 10 and 8? What is it? 2, and they both have an x, don't they? This is now 5x, and this is now minus 4. And now we just do what we did earlier. 2x equals 0, the other one equal to 0, and just solve it. Good? Set them equal to what, guys? What do we set them equal to? 0. Can you see where this ties into what we just did in that last unit? That's why we're kind of running through this. It's all the same stuff. Your assessment on this stuff is going to be next week on Wednesday and Thursday. So you guys will do it on, I guess, Wednesday. Okay? Assuming that's, yeah, you guys are here. Today's Thursday, so you'll be back Monday and then Wednesday. Seriously, though. And then we'll start STAR. That's it. It goes quick, doesn't it? Okay. Good job. I'm going to let you guys take a break for a little while. If you're watching online, post it on your socials. Like it, share it with your friends. See you guys.